At the end of September 2025, all the new Teslas and many new EVs, overnight the prices went up $7,500 because the federal EV tax credit has been discontinued. So a lot of people who are maybe considering new ones might be looking at the pre-owned side, or in general, pre-owned vehicles are definitely more affordable. Not all of us can afford new vehicles like me. I've bought all my cars and I've had a lot of them pre-owned. So if you're thinking about getting a pre-owned Model 3, this is an important video. Today I'm going to talk about this 2021 Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive. And I'm going to talk about why 2021 or newer Model 3s are definitely a big upgrade if you're considering a used Model 3. 21 or newer is definitely one to look at, and I'll tell you why. Hi, this is Joe from Scarff Ford, and today let's dive into this 2021 Model 3 Standard Range Plus. So the Model 3 first came out for the 2017 model year, and the first big refresh we saw on the Model 3 was for the 2021 model year, and then again it got another big refresh for 2024, almost a completely redesigned. So obviously, the 2024s are still kind of pricey, but the 2021 Model 3s, around that vintage, older or newer, they're pretty affordable. You can find nice pre-owned Model 3s for under $30,000, some around $20,000, depending on the mileage, the age, and features. If it's all-wheel drive long range or a standard range plus like this one. And $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, in today's money, that's pretty much the average price you're going to pay for a decent used vehicle. And these Model 3s, they have extremely low ownership costs. Out of a 5-10 year period, the Model 3 is pretty much the least expensive vehicle to own as far as ownership costs out of any other vehicle, even a Prius or a Honda Civic. And even though this is similar in size to like a Civic or a Toyota Corolla, it's a lot more luxurious. The features, the technology, you'd compare this more to like a BMW 3 Series, a Mercedes-Benz C-Class, a Lexus IS. This was well over $40,000 when it was brand new. I think it was like $46,000 if I remember correctly. More recently, they've come out with like a stripped down Model 3 since the tax credit ended, which takes away a lot of features. So even more so, maybe people will gravitate towards some of these older Model 3s versus buying a new stripped down Model 3. So one other thing that was upgraded for 2021, and this is really important, especially for people who are going to drive in colder weather, is the addition of a heat pump. A heat pump makes this so much more efficient when the weather gets below freezing or 0 degrees out. EVs generally become a lot less efficient. The chemical reaction that creates energy in batteries tend to slow down when it gets colder out. And in fact, these cars have an advanced thermal management system, so the car will actually have to use energy to keep the battery at a good temperature for it to be efficient, because if the battery is really cold, it's not going to charge and it's going to lose efficiency. And on top of that, one dividend of having a gas engine is you can take the heat from the gas engine and use it to heat the cabin. Not the case with an EV. You're going to have to take energy from that high voltage battery to warm the cabin. So like a heat pump in your house, it's going to make that much more efficient. We also saw a redesigned center console for the 2021 model year with this nice wireless charging pad. Lots of storage. The Model 3 has storage galore. Even though this is a compact, the space, because it's clean sheet EV design, it has a lot more space than a comparable gas-powered compact sedan like a Civic or a Mercedes-Benz C-Class, BMW 3 Series. Nice big glass roof panels to allow lots of natural light inside. This has the upgraded premium white interior, which is very nice. And this might look like it's difficult to keep clean, but I've seen some ugly examples. I had some Teslas that I bought like at the auction that had dogs, and in the pictures, I had them shipped from California. In the pictures, the seats didn't look too bad, but seeing that it had animals and stuff and getting enough to transport, I'm cringing. I'm like, I don't know. Miraculously, it comes out of detail looking like this. Tesla has some sort of proprietary material that they use for their vegan leather, and it really holds up very well to stains and cleans up very nicely. So even if you have kids and you have a hard time keeping clean, this vegan leather is surprisingly stain repellent. And yes, it's vegan leather, it's not real leather. And I know some people are like, well, I don't want to have real leather because I don't have to have sacrifice animals. I don't have to have an animal slaughtered to make a nice fancy leather interior in my car. Well, that is great. I don't want to see, I love animals too, but leather is actually a byproduct of the meat industry. They don't slaughter animals for leather in cars. That's all byproducts of the meat industry. So if you do buy a car with leather, I guess don't feel guilty because that animal is going to be used for food anyways. The majority of the functionality is in the screen. It's like an iPad. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but you have 140 different voice commands, so you can do a lot of things just with voice commands and not having to go through the screen. The user interface is like it was designed by Apple. It's very intuitive. We have Autopilot, was like traffic aware cruise control. This is a standard range plus. Fully charged range is about 260 miles. 18,569 miles is the amount of miles it has right now. Pretty low miles. The average miles for a 21 Model 3 standard range plus right now is around 50,000. So this has really way below average miles on it versus some other comparable ones for sale. So that, that's obviously good news. You have these really nice Google Maps. This one has these nice all-season mats as well. Another feature that we saw for 2021 was the addition of more Tesla glass. So Tesla has this proprietary insulated glass. It's double pane glass with a sound deadening material sandwiched in between. It really makes it a lot quieter. I have a 2019 Model 3. I love my Model 3. I wish mine was a 21 just so I could have these features. These are noticeably quieter than earlier model year Teslas with that acoustic glass. It really makes a big difference. Love the styling. It's kind of that minimalist styling. We also saw a new headlight design with these new projector lights for the 2021 model year. Obviously, that's a nice feature. We have this nice frunk. Nice cargo package. You have the cargo mats, cargo area protectors. This is like having another trunk. Also a safety feature, you have a crumple zone that's 60% larger than a gas car to absorb crash energy in a frontal collision. In fact, the Model 3 is one of the safest vehicles you can buy. One of the most technologically advanced, one of the coolest, and one of the safest. I guess cool is all subject to personal opinion. There are some Tesla haters out there. And even though this is a compact, you have lots of interior space. I'm 6'2". Look how much space I have. I have lots of legroom, lots of headroom. Makes a fantastic Uber lift. These glass roof panels are fantastic. It makes it just feel bigger, more airier. You don't feel as claustrophobic. You can get some aftermarket or from Tesla, these inserts that go into these windows here. They fold up really nicely for storage to cut down on the heat on the hot summer days. It can be like a greenhouse in hot weather. So those inserts are nice, easy to put in. And then obviously in colder, overcast, dreary days, more ambient light makes you that much happier. And another feature for 2021 is you have a power trunk. So yeah, it's a power opening trunk versus a manual on the older ones. And speaking of the trunk, look how big it is. Since we don't have drive shaft, gas tanks, exhaust systems, it just allows for more interior space, including storage space and trunk space. We have a recessed storage area under there. We have this nice cargo mat as well. And look at that, we have a sub trunk, even more space. It is unreal how much space this thing has for such a small vehicle. Well, that's my little walk around to this 2021 Model 3, and obviously a lot of good reasons to consider a 21 or newer Model 3 if you're in the market for one. One of the most recycled things in the world are cars. So buying a used car is definitely, a big consideration for a lot of people. They're more affordable. And if you're worried about the environment, obviously EVs are good for the environment. The jury is out there, whether you get your energy from clean energy like hydroelectric, like here in Washington, or if you get your energy from coal plants. An EV will use that energy much more efficiently than a gas car. This holds the equivalent, the battery holds the equivalent of about 2 gallons of gas, but yet it can go over 200 miles on 2 gallons of gas. There's not too many cars that can go 200 miles on 2 gallons of gas. That's because it uses that energy so much more efficiently. While you're in stop and go traffic, you don't have an idling engine, it just uses as much energy as it needs. And it uses it that much more efficiently. The other thing is, if you do care about the environment, buying a used car means you're recycling a car. You're not having a new car that's using natural resources to build the battery, create the vehicle, which causes industrial pollution. So it's like a twofer. You're buying a used car, which is recycling a car, so you're not creating that industrial pollution on the manufacturing of the vehicle. And on top of that, when you're buying a used EV, you're helping save energy. If you're into saving energy, you're big on the environment, buying a used EV gives you a twofer. Obviously, I do care about the environment myself, but the main reason for me buying a Tesla is I just thought they were cool. I love the Autopilot, the technology. It's like one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced. As far as car goes, I'm a motorhead. I've been in the car business 30 years, and I've been reading car magazines since I was 12 years old. My dad was in the car business. I enjoy cars, EVs, gas cars, V8, manual transmission Mustangs. I have a love for all cars, but these things are super cool, and they're more affordable and attainable to a wider amount of people than ever before. We're Scarff Ford. We sell new Fords, new Isuzus, and a very wide variety of pre-owned vehicles, including lots of pre-owned Teslas. I think right now we have 10 pre-owned Teslas on our lot. Cybertrucks, Cyber Beast, Model S, Model Ys, Model 3s. We have them all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.